MGTV. I'm Michelle Grayman, Women's Wellness Coach, and this week I am talking specifically about how to prevent osteoporosis. Same things you would do to prevent it really are the same things you would do to reverse it. But today is World Osteoporosis Day, and it's amazing when I was looking at these stats that I wrote down here. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 5 men will have a hip fracture. Now, they use hip fractures to determine if you have osteoporosis. But realistically, osteoporosis is a disease that happens over years and years and years and years of time. We actually hit our highest bone density starting at 16 for girls and starting at 20 for boys, capping off at 25 for boys. And at that point, that's when our bones are the strongest. So if you've been working on that process from you were a child to that age, then you'll have really a lot to go into the rest of your life with. But if you do not, 30 is usually the age where people start to lose their bone density. So it's amazing that a lot of times people think that, especially when it comes to weight loss, that it's all diet and exercise, and I usually tell them, no, it's not all diet and exercise, there's all these other pieces that you need to put in, but osteoporosis is mainly diet and exercise. Having a proper diet and having weight-bearing exercises are really the two things you want to use to ensure that your bones are really doing the best. It's amazing because 80% of fractures over the age of 50 are caused by osteoporosis, and fractures are more common than heart attack, stroke, breast cancer combined, and actually 28% of women and 37% of men will have a hip fracture and then die within the year after. It is one of the biggest things that is happening, especially for our aging generation, all those baby boomers who are getting older, is to protect themselves and to be really careful about osteoporosis. And it is absolutely crazy that $3.9 billion in Canada is spent on fractures alone. So let's get into how to prevent it and how to reverse it. So of course we want to get down to the causes. If we don't talk about causes, what is the point? There is no band-aid for osteoporosis, and you'll be surprised that some of these causes are things that people are doing to try to heal themselves or prevent osteoporosis, so really listen closely. One of the first causes is drugs. Yes, there are drugs that actually cause your bone density to decrease. The other one are minerals, such as fluoride actually causes your bone density to decrease. Dairy is one of the biggest ones that I think is totally unknown because of the campaign that tells us that dairy is good for our bones. Now, milk, cow's milk, is really good for baby cow's bones, but by the time we are drinking it, especially as adults, it actually is very acidic as a food and actually causes lower bone density in our bones. And so I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a second. Imbalances in minerals. So if you are highly supplementing vitamin A or vitamin D, you actually can cause your bone density to decrease by imbalancing the rest of your vitamins and trace minerals especially, which is amazing because a lot of times people are told to take vitamin D because vitamin D is important, but our body works on a balance of minerals and vitamins, and when we're not having that balance, we can often cause problems in specific areas. So acidic foods, let's go back to that. Acidic foods are not just dairy. Meats are acidic, coffee is acidic, sugar is acidic. But when our bodies are acidic, especially when we're digesting foods that are acidic, our body has to put that into balance to digest it. So calcium, being one of our most basic sources that are stored in the body, is taken from the bones and used in the process to balance or neutralize the acids so they can be digested. So this would include carbonated drinks that usually have phosphoric acid in them to cut the sugar. That phosphoric acid in your stomach with your acidic, gastric juices actually cause a lot of acid, and your body's going to use calcium from your bones to neutralize that. So low nutrient diets, which usually have these things in common: meat, sugar, high salts, alcohol, and coffee, are the huge acidic foods, right? Add dairy to that, and you're looking at kind of the trifecta of what's going to happen to your body in old age when it comes to osteoporosis. And like I said, I don't think that 50 is that old, and that's really when people are starting to experience it. So, weight management exercises, proper nutrition are one of the first things that need to be done to really put this back in order. It is possible to actually strengthen your bones, even though it's way easier when you're young. If you are a teenager and you're drinking lots of pop, you are setting yourself up for osteoporosis. If you have this bad diet and you are not exercising, you are really putting yourself at huge risk. So if you're still young, this is the time to really build those bones and build them really strong, not with milk. And if you're older, now is the best time as ever to get started on actually building back that bone density by preventing these causes and actually building up your nutrition and your exercising abilities. So, if you have any questions about osteoporosis, please put them below in the comments. And if you are suffering from it or you want to prevent it and you want to learn how, definitely contact me. In the description, I'm going to put my website, but specifically I'm starting this amazing program called Love Your Body, where I'm going to be teaching you how to get healthy naturally and how to have tons of confidence. So this might be the perfect place for you to actually start to build back that strength in your body and actually use it for the best things of life. Have a fantastic week, and I will talk to you next week.